Our top story. Hours before the burnt body of a young veterinarian was recovered near Hyderabad on Thursday, a distraught family who could not contact her on her mobile phone had to go from one police station to another as the cops could not decide if the case falls in their jurisdiction. The National Commission for Women, which met the grieving family today, has found fault too with the Telangana Police, saying that they delayed taking action and shunted complaints from one police station to another. The family has now sought a speedy trial in the murder case, which has sent shockwaves and a dismal sense of deja vu across India.
Public protests and demonstrations in Hyderabad and elsewhere expressing solidarity with the young woman who is being called Telangana's Nirbhaya. The 26-year-old veterinary doctor was gang raped and murdered on Wednesday night, and her body was set ablaze allegedly by these four men who were arrested by the Cyberabad police on Friday. At Shadnagar police station, where the accused were kept before being sent to jail, police had to use force to restrain protesters from getting out of control.
These people should not be hanged. They should be ambushed and they should be handed over to the public so that they get the same remedial treatment what they have done to the child.
The procedure should be followed. Yes, I want them to be hanged. I want them to be punished, but not in this way. They should be given their rights so that at the end there is no wrong or no finger should be pointed against the system that they did not follow the procedure. That should be followed, and yes, they should be hanged at the end.
Union Minister of State for Home Kishan Reddy said there were lapses on the part of the Telangana Police.
अभी कोई पुलिस स्टेशन में कोई महिला, कोई लड़की, कोई बहन अभी उनका केस लाके आए तो आपका पुलिस स्टेशन ही नहीं है, दूसरा पुलिस स्टेशन जाओ, ऐसा बोलने का अधिकार नहीं है. ऑलरेडी हाई कोर्ट का डायरेक्शन है, जो भी आते हैं तुरंत केस फाइल करना चाहिए, इन्वेस्टिगेशन करना चाहिए, हेल्प फाइल करना चाहिए, केस बाद में रजिस्ट्रेशन करो.
While crimes against women is a larger societal issue, protests across India, especially in Hyderabad, are questioning policing priorities and attitudes and are demanding a more responsive and sensitive police force. In Hyderabad, with camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
So why has nothing changed since Nirbhaya? It's been 7 years to the gut-wrenching Nirbhaya case. We now have the death sentence for rapists of minors, but little has changed on the ground. Why is that? We have joining us now Dr. K.S. Subramanian. He's a former DG of police. We have Arfa Khanum, senior editor of The Wire, Brinda Adige, women's rights activist, and Saira Shah Halim, social activist and writer. Mr. Subramanian, first to you. Years after the horrific Nirbhaya attack, India has made little progress in ensuring security of women. I want to first focus on the police's role in this. Why does the script never change? Even bad Bollywood scripts seem to have moved with the times. According to reports, when the distraught family went to the police, they first said, oh, she must have eloped. Let's wait. She'll return. The parents were made to run from pillar to post. They faced a brick wall of police apathy. Many have raised questions about the way the police handled this case.
Many questions are there, yes.
Yes. Your response. You've been the DG. What would you say in this case? Did the police conduct themselves properly or not?
Not in this case, not at all.
Why is that, sir?
Why means, you see, you have to study the local scenario, how the situation developed and what actually happened, whether the police are properly deployed in the area. All these things need to be examined one by one. And then the police committed serious blunders, they refused to register the case in the first place. Then again the complainant had to go from one police station to another police station. Now this is not to be done by the police. They have to register the case, particularly where an important case like this takes place. Very serious crime has been committed. The police have to register the case immediately in whatever police station the complainant goes. And then if necessary, the case has to be transferred to another police station where actually the crime has occurred. I don't know what happened in this case, why they refused to register a case in the first place.
And Saira Shah, ironically, the irony here is that just yesterday, the Telangana Home Minister questioned why she didn't call the police instead of her sister. And really, it's a statement that reeks of entitlement. Politicians can ask that question because they never have to call 100. They have security that we, the taxpayer, pays for. And even if they do call the police, the call will go straight to the commissioner. This is, honestly, actually, it's a valid question because it exposes the distrust that the common citizen, especially a woman, has on the police, on the system. We know we have to rely on friends, family, on technology, take photos of a cab driver when we get into a car and then send that photo home to our friends.
I think the minister's statement was very
Saira?
unfortunate. Whatever the minister said
Absolutely,
was not correct.
Sarah.
He
You
should
know,
not have
it
said
is
that,
so.
you know, when a-
Yes, it is so mind-numbing. One second, sir. One sec. It is so conflicting, and a very scary thought that women always have their safety at the back of their minds, which you know, the half of the population doesn't have. When we go to work,
Over
our
and
loved
above
ones
everything
tell
that
us,
we do.
send a message that you've reached. When we leave work, our parents are worried, our families are worried whether we have reached home on time. So I think it's time now that the system needs a complete overhaul. We need better helplines. We need a better infrastructure where our law enforcement agencies are manning desolate areas, because you see the route generally to the airport and into the city, it's a rather secluded area, desolate area, where there are you know, kilometers of, you know, agricultural land, and there's nobody there. So such grounds become potential areas where crimes can be committed. And especially I feel patrolling parties should be extra vigilant in areas where, you know, the population is less. And overall, I think, Sarah, we might frame any law under the sun, you know, and end of the day, if our system is restrictive, if it's so misogynistic, where the blame is actually palmed on the victim. Okay, and here we are victim shaming the person. We are telling the family, look, perhaps your daughter could have eloped. Or when the Home Minister of a state says, but why didn't she dial 100? So here we are actually casting aspersions on the victim. Instead of finding solutions, we are victim shaming the person, and that does not solve any issue or the ground realities that today women are really unsafe in the country. We might brush any report, we might brush the Thomson Reuters report and say, oh, it's rubbish. But the fact is that every single girl, whether it's a girl child, whether it's a woman over 60, everyone is equally unsafe and vulnerable.
That's right. Alfa Khanam, this could have been any one of us, like millions of Indian women. This young 26-year-old was juggling her working day, parking her scooter at a toll plaza, getting into a shared cab for the rest of the journey to, you know, a different part of the city. This, even as 7 years after Nirbhaya, the fund that was created because of the outrage that we heard all over India, similar like what we're seeing today, has lays unused and it's underutilized.
I don't know. Do you want me to reply?
Reading it somewhere, and I would want to read it out to your viewers.
Better. Now I
Giving
can hear you
birth is
better.
the second most painful thing a human can experience. The first is being burnt alive. So can you imagine the kind of pain that little girl, that woman, young woman had to go through? This has certainly shaken the soul of this country, and I would really call it the second Nirbhaya moment. Me and you, all of our journalists, we reported Nirbhaya incident, and a lot of people say that it didn't change anything. I would say it changed a lot in this country. And this outrage, when this has again shaken the soul of the country, this incident, the Hyderabad incident, will again, I would say, will prove to be a watershed moment in India's history. Because people out there, women especially, are demanding accountability, responsibility from our politician. Sarah, I also look at it from a sociological point of view, that the way young independent women, they negotiate public spaces. You have to also look at it from this point of view. You know, I usually travel to small towns and villages, and I tell women to educate themselves. Young girls, I tell them to be independent, to stand on their feet, to earn their own money, to have their freedom. But when this woman who was living in one of the most vibrant cities in India, the youngest states in India, which is considered, and on a toll plaza, when all of this can happen to this woman, I don't know, when I go back to those villages, those towns, and when I address these women, am I going to tell them that you are not going to face that fate that was faced by that woman? Another very important thing, Sarah, before we move ahead with this discussion, is that now we are here standing at this moment where rape is being communalized. This rape issue is being communalized. Are we going to outrage and get angry depending on who the religion of the person who's being raped.
We
And
saw
the
that
rapist?
after Kathua,
Is
we're
this the
seeing this
moment in
again.
India's
Yes,
history
of
where
course,
we
that's
have
a
to do
big
that?
issue. But Alpha, again, you're
Sarah,
absolutely
this is
right in
extremely
all of
disturbing.
these. There are so
Extremely
many
disturbing,
disturbing
this is.
angles to this story. But also, as a reporter who covered Nirbhaya, the fact is right now, 7 years later, those funds that were created to set up initiatives to make women safer, they are lying unused across the country. There are some states that haven't even touched those funds.
Because this is where the problem lies. The problem is that we do not have laws. I understand the sentiment and emotions of those people who are asking for instant justice, who are asking a phansi de do, maar do. All of this is fine, but this is not where the solution lies. The solution lies in implementation. The solution lies in the willpower of the politician. And again, I would like to take you back to the same problem of politics of polarization, Sarah.
Yes.
That these people, the politicians, can afford to ignore us because they are winning elections after elections, despite the fact that they're ignoring half of the population, their safety, their fundamental rights of being citizens, of living in the country, going
working,
about their
of
life,
contributing
everyday
to the
lives,
economy.
without fearing for it. So
Yes.
they can afford to do so, because we as citizens, we as voters have not made sure that these politicians are not able to win elections without taking into account our concerns.
That's right. And again, yesterday we saw politicians trying to gain political mileage out of this. There was a BJP leader there from Telangana immediately trying to attack the government. But I want to just play out a bit of the interview that NDTV's Uma Sudhir conducted, a very difficult interview really for her, with the sister, the woman who was on the phone last with this 26-year-old veterinarian, who said, "Talk to me, I'm scared, I'm worried, don't get off the phone with me." Listen in to that sister's interview.
You had the last conversation with her as well. At that time, she said that she was feeling scared, in fact. What happened? You, in fact, advised her to go to a toll plaza also, I know.
She's scared means all this incident have happened, that they have taken her bike. All this happened. Maybe because of that she is scared. She might have felt something wrong I have done. So she called me and she told me, okay, you first talk to me something, then I'll tell what happened. When I asked her, was there any accident, something happened? Then she told no. And then she said, someone told that her bike got punctured and they offered her help, and they took the bike and they came back also. And they again took the bike, saying that, okay, all shops are closed there. We will find some other place to repair it, or else you'd face. She told them, no, I can go, it's okay. Then they said like, no, ma'am, you cannot go.
The conversation went on for how many minutes?
6 minutes.
And then you called her again after some time.
Yeah, I called her after 15 minutes.
And then itself the phone was switched off.
Yeah, phone was switched off by that time. I thought it got switched off because there was no charging. Means I saw when she was leaving home, I saw her phone. There was only 10% charging. So I thought, okay, why to make it an issue? Let me wait. Let her go home and let her call me. I thought so. I didn't even inform anyone. I didn't even tell my mother.
And then when did you decide that you must go to the police? By what time?
It was almost 10 o'clock. I was just expecting her to reach home and call me. Almost at 10 o'clock also I called her twice. It was switched off only.
Were you at work?
Yeah. I thought, okay, she will come. My mom called me and she was worried. She was telling she didn't come yet and she was worried. She has expected something wrong, but I really didn't expect anything. I told her, okay, her bike got punctured. She will come. I just assured her. I waited for another 15 minutes.
Both of you are obviously young working women in Hyderabad, and you thought the city is safe and you didn't expect anything untoward to happen.
By 10:15 also she didn't reach home. My mom called me again and she was crying. Then I took my office vehicle and one colleague accompanied me. We both went directly to the toll plaza. I didn't even call police. I directly went to the toll plaza because I didn't expect something wrong would have gone. I just thought, okay, she might be waiting there or something. So I went to toll plaza and I searched for her.
And of course, the family is going to have to live with the questions, what if things had turned out differently, or what if the police had responded immediately, and that's going to haunt them for the rest of their lives. But Brinda Arige, I want to come across to you. As Arfa was pointing out there, this story really has so many reverberations. The irony is that every time a case like this is reported, and there are many that aren't, it is a setback for all women. There will be a fear that will strike the hearts of every father, mother, father-in-law, mother-in-law about what the possible consequences could be to let your daughter, your wife pursue her career, pursue her dreams. And then for Indian women, it becomes another barrier that we have to cross, we have to overcome, just to live a normal life like the men in our country.
Are you asking me something, or?
Brinda?
Absolutely. We are being forced to subscribe. Yeah, absolutely. We are being forced to subscribe to this patriarchal mindset, to this chauvinism, not just by the society themselves, because that is something that is already there, but by the state, by the system. And that is unacceptable. Because like we pointed out, again and again, the state has failed the citizens, especially women. When the police go there, when the parents went there to the police station, they were not listened to. A complaint was not taken. What is it that we are asking? Every time a case like this happens, the woman has the onus to actually prove that she is not wrong. She should have been safe. She should not have done things that she must not do. So we are asking this question, why is it that today we have the citizens of Hyderabad and across India coming out on the streets and saying, state, you should work. Why are my taxes being given to these people? How is it that that politician has the gall to ask, why did you not call 100? That it would come in 3 minutes. My question to that politician and every other politician in Telangana is, what was your police doing?
Can I ask him the question?
Where are the CCTV cameras? Where are the street lights? 25 kilometers, they have gone with that body and not a single highway patrol on those streets. What was the state doing?
Our panelists have pointed out this is the youngest state, which means it has been built. You can't blame it on, the British infrastructure or Nehru or anything else. This is the youngest state. It is newly built. It doesn't have street lights, as you point out. There aren't CCTVs in all areas. There isn't a number that you can call in the US. We say we want to be a $1 trillion economy, and but we don't have a number that you can call like you are in the US. If your car breaks down, you call a number and somebody will come and fix your car immediately. You don't have to rely on good Samaritans or strangers, complete strangers, to come to your aid.
Thank you. Yes.
Exactly. And that is why we are asking this question. Like you had pointed out, 92% of the Nirbhaya funds are unused. Nobody is being held accountable for it. Nobody. Not a single department. And this is the taxpayers' money. And I know that some of the states have asked for this money and are spending over 80% of it only on CCTV cameras. Sophisticated technology. Who is going to monitor this?
Yes.
Who will respond to a case that might come up? Where is the issue of prevention? Where is the issue of speedy response? We are not looking at any of these things. And they have the gall to say that she should have done this, she should have done that. Why are you placing the onus of being safe, of being protected, of responding to a distress and a crisis on the citizen?
Yes.
What are you doing as the state?
Has anything been done by the state in the past 7 years? Dr. Subramaniam, you are the only one here who's actually been part of the system. You've seen how it works on the inside. Could you please explain to us, for example, within the police, have things changed? Within the police system, have things changed since Nirbhaya since new funds? Has there been more training? Has there been more sensitization of people who, you know, the officers who pick up the phone, for example, when someone calls 100?
Well, in this particular case, there have been many failures on the part of the police. And also the police leadership, you know, you have to talk to the SP, the DIG and the IG as well as the Director General of Police. All of them are collectively responsible for the failures that have occurred in this particular case. I know the police training is extremely bad, particularly the training of police constables and junior officers is in very, very bad shape, and they are not sensitive enough to respond to a situation like this in a very spontaneous and sympathetic manner. They have not done it in the particular case. So, what we need to do is you have to look at the particular state, particular issue, a particular place, problem that has occurred. You can't generalize, you know, the overall generalization is fine. I agree with everything that these ladies have said, but practically you have to see what actually happened in this particular case. Let us interview the DG of police of the state. Let us call him on the TV and ask him to give replies to questions which you are asking. Because sitting in Delhi, we have only a limited understanding of what happened.
Yeah. All right, and Arfa, I want to just end. We have about 2 minutes. I want not to ignore a very crucial point that you have raised in the midst of all of this. As we are already facing insurmountable challenges in trying to provide safety for women in India, still today we are now seeing attempts made by certain parts and certain groups to communalize cases of violence against women. Why is this exceedingly dangerous? I'm asking the obvious question, why is this exceedingly dangerous, especially for women?
Sarah, I want to tell women out there and also men, I want to tell them that these people who are trying to communalize this whole sexual crimes against women are not friends of women. These are enemies of women. They want to use women as a pawn in their politics. They want to use us. They want to do politics on our bodies. So be assured and beware of these people. They are very dangerous people. They are trying to, kill our sensitivity, and they're trying to train us towards thinking in a way that we should be looking at the religion of the rapist and the rape victims before we decide whether we have to outrage on this or not. So this is again another very artificial division that they're trying to create. But I want to tell all of these people out there that even in this moment of grief and challenge, we women are one. I want to once again instill faith and confidence in our young women that we wouldn't let this go just like that. We will take back our freedom, we will take back our safety, and we wouldn't let politicians just get away with this time around at least. We will not. We will make it another Nirbhaya 2. As journalists, as women, as citizens, as member of civil society, we would make women, gender justice, women safety priority. We will draw our own manifesto and we will make sure that this gets priority in politicians' agenda.
We will, we must, and this must happen. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We at NDTV will continue to keep the focus on issues like this, prioritize stories like this, even on days when there's so much else happening politically. This is very important to us because we know it's very important to you. Thank you for joining us on Left, Right and Centre. Good night.